Today is Tuesday, the 33rd week in Ordinary Time. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Now at that time Jesus came to Jericho and intended to pass through the town. Now there was a man named Zacchaeus, who was a chief tax collector and also a wealthy man, was seeking to see who Jesus was, but he could not see him because of the crowd, for he was short in stature. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore tree in order to see Jesus, who was about to pass that way. When he reached the place, Jesus looked up and said, "Zacchaeus, come down quickly, for today I must stay at your house." And he came down quickly and received him with joy. When they saw this, they began to grumble, saying, "He has gone to stay at the house of a sinner." But Zacchaeus stood there and said to the Lord, "Behold, half of my possessions, Lord, I shall give to the poor, and if I have extorted anything from anyone, I shall repay it 4 times over." And Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a descendant of Abraham. For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save what was lost." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Of course, Zacchaeus was a tax collector, but he was a Jew, and he was one of the sons and daughters of Israel. But because he was a tax collector, he was seen as a great sinner, as one who was not favorably looked upon by the people. But he wanted to find Jesus, just as yesterday, on Saturday, the blind men wanted to experience Jesus. Zacchaeus wants to see who this man is. And he climbs the tree because he was short. And as he climbs the tree, Jesus looks at him and says, "Zacchaeus, I want to come to your house today." And I'm sure that kind of blew the socks off of everybody else, because here's Jesus wanting to go to the house of a sinner. My kind of man. I like that. I think that's a very powerful thing for us to understand. Very often, we are very happy to be with the righteous, or the church people, or those who have their act together, so to speak. But we must be very conscious that we are also to reach out to all our brothers and sisters, that we are to relate to all our brothers and sisters, that we are to invite all of our brothers and sisters, no matter who they are, where they are, sinner, saint, whatever color, whatever nationality, it does not matter. We are to reach out to all. Jesus says, "I want to come to your house. I want to stay at your house." And so everybody else clamored. And no doubt, if you reach out to people who are different than you, some of your friends might clamor too. Well, who does she think she is? Or who does he think he is? Going, don't pay attention to that. Focus on what Jesus Christ did. He always went to the lowly, the broken, the poor, the outcast. We should be doing the same. As we do that, Zacchaeus recognized what Jesus was doing, and he says, I make restitution for what I've done. And if I've extorted anyone, I will pay it 4 times over. He's going above and beyond to say, I'm sorry. But ultimately, we hear the last line, and that's good news for all of us. For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save what was lost. We can look at other people as being lost, but we have to recognize, we who hear the Gospels, we who go to church, that sometimes the message is lost on us too, and that we sometimes fall into those places and sinful situations that we find ourselves, and we need to reach out and allow the Lord to save us also. We have to remember that some of the spiritual and holy leaders at the time of Jesus did not understand the message that he was proclaiming, and he was proclaiming it to them because they, in their righteousness, they, in their holiness, were not open to hear what Jesus had to say. So many times it was the poor, it was the broken, it was the outcast who listened and whose lives were changed. Let us not separate ourselves, but let us include ourselves in the message of Jesus Christ, that he has come to save what was lost, and that we too are called to open up our hearts to his saving power.